So, Export Radio has been really beneficial to me this term because in quarantine, Louise, my collaborator, and we decided to downsize the entire team. We were probably a group of around six, but because of the lockdown, we realised that it would be really hard to stay in contact with these six people. So, after making the decision to go down to two, we ended up, instead of making stuff and broadcasting, we chose to kind of like new genres, step back and look at the project from a distance to get a more rounded view of what it could be in the future, especially looking forward towards our second year at this MA. And because of that, we realised that we needed to have a model and we needed to have a way where we could situate all of the work so it wasn't just random submissions and there was no narrative. So looking at the Valia Award proposal, that kind of became our ethos, kind of what does collaboration represent in 2020, came the question that we ask all of our submissions, as well as that it's, do you compromise with your work, especially now because of the pandemic? So realising that we have these questions that always pop up, obviously I won't explain all of them, some are more just contained within the brief itself, but some are very literal, like what does collaboration represent? You can easily ask that to everyone and get a different answer. And that's kind of what we wanted for the archive, because we feel as if we don't compromise on this project, that will resonate and show for generations to come, because we want this project to be an archive or research pool for people to look at. And every single year, visual communication adds to it. So we will hand on Export Radio and we will give them the archive to then try and create a picture of what the year was like. And ours is the year of COVID. So we want to show that we weren't taken for granted. So looking forward after lockdown and the start of this term, we pitched a bunch of ideas. A few were roundtables after the successes of the previous events, but then also the two of us plus Carmo, a newer collaborator. All three of us have our own shows, meaning that we could not only feed into our own situated practices with Export Radio, but it could also kind of be the other half of our practice so that we don't spend too much time on export and too much time on our situated practices. And with export, that came with some different things that I wasn't really achieving with new genres, which is admin, emailing, collaborating, especially collaborating. And because of all of this and, reaching out to people, we've managed to get a space in Dalston called Ridley Road Social Club. So we have a recording studio, we have lots of monitors, lots of sound equipment, we have a technician. We also have a large project space too, which is like a small hall essentially, really open in the air so we can bring people in to talk to. And we're broadcasting 2 times a week on twitch.com and we're reaching around 350 people per show, which is really great. And it's because we're bringing in people who are interesting and who are bringing their friends towards it. And because of this, we want to start selling stuff and creating prints and getting other people to sell their stuff through our show. And we've also got 2 web designers creating a website, because we're going to be working very closely with the work in progress team. So we've taken this advantage of having a site and having a space and having a schedule to actually invite the entire college to submit their projects to us. So I think at this point, come the end of this term, we are looking forward to really showing as much work as possible from as many people as possible. And with that comes something I can't quite feel yet, because we're going to get inundated with submissions and we're going to be up for a long time, recording all the time. And I'm kind of excited to do that because it's necessary, especially in your final year of work, such as me now. I want to kind of have this really big push, and I didn't really feel it until I started Export and we realised the potential that it had. And it's the first ever instance of me collaborating with an artist before, Louise, and it's just been so positive. And if my situated practice is not going so well sometimes, I'll just put all of my energy into export radio, and you know, realised that with a schedule and with planning, I can actually rein my work back and be a bit more, I don't know, I can tap into my practice and make it a bit more accessible than just always trying to research or something. This is like a good break from the academic nature of new genres. I can really be practical with export radio. And I think that's something that will prop up more, especially as we're going to generate more physical work with this as well. So we're going to create interview booklets and project images from kind of live workshops and such, which will then generate a physical archive that we can give to the college as well. But overall, I think it's been very positive, export radio. I've answered a lot of questions that I was asking myself, like, can I collaborate? Am I able to plan, because I've never really planned before? Can I work with a team, whether it be small or large? And also, can I reach out to people? Because I've always been quite social, but then this kind of gives me a reason to be proactive with how social I am, and really kind of, when I get someone in for an interview, I'm also their friend, but also I'm someone trying to pick their brain and curate their ideas to a broadcasting public, which is really exciting, and I kind of want to do more of. Because we did the thing with Snapchat, which was kind of lecturing and helping some students in LA figure out some problems with their projects, and they kind of really like this ethos of not having to compromise because you're experimental, you're always moving forward. So that level of teaching that comes with broadcasting too is something I've really tapped onto, and I just can't wait to do more of in 2021.